What's going on, people, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time. Now, I tell you, people, man's gone international out here. When I say international, man's talking real international. Now, everyone's always talking about Mr. Midas. You got so much energy. You are so hype. Well, on today's show, I got a guy who kills my hype because he is the hypest guy in the game. We are talking gaming and guidance. We are talking... Them man, they've got the belt on their side, fam. WWE wrestling style all of the time. His favorite gamer is Kratos. And let's take it serious and say rest in peace to one of the greatest grandmas in the game. We are talking Hot 97's hip hop gamer in the building. Welcome to Too Many Games, my G.
Too many games, you already know what it is, man. It's the one and only hip-hop gamer, Hot 97, Logitech G, hip-hop gamer, no stranger to danger, #1 journalist. Quickly, I changed the game up. Let's go, baby. Mr. Midas in the building. Love you, bro. What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, son.
What's going on, my G? Thank you so much. Hey, I love the energy, you know, because I'm the energy brother. So when I meet someone that gives me back that same energy, I love it. Firstly, your background is sick. I love it.
I gotta represent you, bro. Come on, you having me on your show, son. And that's one thing about me. You know, I know I'm the star of certain things, but I also love being a fan as well. So I gotta support you too and show you love as well on your own show. So thank you.
Fam, I love it. That's the kind of thing that I do. Now, before we even get into it, right? The reason why I'm a video game presenter is because I was in the music industry. I've been a gamer since I was a little kid, and I felt like no one looked like me, no one represented me, and I watched like IGN's kind of funnies and stuff like that. And even before I really cemented myself in gaming, like this was going to be my career, when I just started, like you was the only face, fam. You was the only face that looked like me, that sounded like me, that moved like how I move. So my G, I got to give you your roses and say salute, because you've been doing big things for a long time. And I want you to know, fam, you're doing major. You get me?
Wow. Yo, I don't even know how to respond or say, like, thank you, man. Thank you. Like, seriously, because that's one of the reasons why I started, because my grandmother, you know, like, as you know, she taught me how to play games when I was 4. And the crazy thing about it is when I was watching G4 Tech TV and looking at the Adam Sesslers and the Kevin Pereiras and, you know, stuff like that, you know, Morgan Webb's, even though I love the shows, the representation, we never, ever, you know, had representation on a mainstream level where you get your game news from. So the corporation started to seem like they was taking over even their personalities and their voices. So that's when I was like, let me start making a video. And to be honest with you, man, before I ever made my first video, I was about to go the route of trying to fit in. And the reason why is because I never seen nobody else do it. I felt like I wasn't accepted as me. So I was about to go that route where I was going to say, well, hi, my name is, you know, Gerard Williams and I love games. And I was literally about to go this stiff route thinking that that's what would work. And like literally God spoke to me, was like, you've been playing games all your life. You're born and raised in this culture. Be yourself. That's why you here. Like, this is why you feel the way you feel. So at first I was conflicted. After that, I was like, you know what? I'm hip hop. I'm gaming. Like, this is what I grew up on. This is my love, my passion. If I don't show that, it ain't gonna work. That's the approach that I took. And ever since day one, all the way to 2021 right now, this is what you get. This is the realest you will ever see gaming news coverage, like, covered. And it meant a lot to me. So what you said means a lot, because I stood up for something that represented all of us. And it's humbling to hear you say that. So thank you so much, man. Love you for that, bro.
My guy, I love it. And do you know what I love as well? Like, when you're an energetic person like we are, we're almost like Marmite. People love us or hate us. There's no in between. There's no in between. They either love, they're like, oh, you're so sick, you're so energetic. And the thing is, like, we actually know what we're talking about. So it's not like we're in there talking crash. Like, we've been playing games forever, so we know about the consoles, like we know about the developers, like we've got the inside knowledge, but we're just speaking it with our voice and our energy. You see it? But then other people just won't be able to take us because we are too hype, and that's cool. Like, we're not for everyone, but we're for ourselves. And you know what? I'm so glad that you just represented who you was and represented us, because fam, there's bare youths out there who will kind of show that gaming is for neeks and for nerds, or gaming is for like white people, and it's not, it's for all of us. So that's what our job is, my G. So I'm going to give you your roses every blood clot day. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, me. But let's talk some games, man, because that's
let's get it.
Let's talk some games. So yeah, I see you just put up the PlayStation 5 looking all splendid and white and black. I'm liking the swag. I see you already know I got the PS5 because I'm holding it behind your head and them things there. What game has gassed you the most so far from the next generation release? So what next gen release has gassed you so far?
Well, the biggest next gen release so far that I've played, it had the, like, I guess I would say like the best time with and the most impactful to me was Spider-Man Miles Morales, bro. Spider-Man Miles Morales, man, that was an emotional ride because it was so much culture in that game. The music, the way they did the attention to detail, like in the world and everything, just the bodega, like, you know what I'm saying, corner store, like it was so much culture like in that game. And aside from the graphics and the gameplay and how it feels and all this other stuff, all that stuff was amazing, but it was just a joy to play, and it was crazy impactful. And I'm looking forward to more Spider-Man, because I know Insomniac, you know, they're about to knock it out the park with even more. Trust me, I know. I have slight inside information on the next one, and I'm telling you, it's about to be crazy. So yeah, I'm very excited. But that's one game that I would definitely say. And secondly, because you know they got the patches for, you know, the PS4 titles, I encourage everybody, you gotta play God of War on PS5. You gotta play God of War on PS5. Just play it over again. The 4K 60, the way it like plays, how smooth it is, it's like you're playing the game all over again in a new way. Like, I encourage everybody, play God of War again on PS5.
All right, let's break them both down. So Spider-Man is the most fun I've ever had in a game in years. It's not my best game, and I'm not even talking about Miles Morales. I'm talking about when Spider-Man first came out. And I remember I went to E3 and I played it. I was like, oh my God, I felt like a kid. And Miles Morales just took it for a whole nother level. And I just want to send it round just put a bow on it, fam. That this isn't a celebration of you. I don't want you to feel like I'm just here to rub your foot and them thing there. But like, could you imagine if you changed who you was and you acted like that preppy, nerdy guy, and then how many years later Spider-Man came out and you're like, wow, this is actually me. This is me. Like, I could have just been myself. Could you imagine? You see how God is good.
Yo, you know what's so funny that you said that, man? So shout out to my boy Michael Pachter. I was at a Michael Pachter party at E3, and I think this was 2018 when this happened, right? And there was a gentleman, and he came up to me and he was very appreciative of the fact that I never changed, right? So he told me personally, I think the gentleman's name was Greg, you know what I mean? But he told me personally that, yo, in order to get a job in this industry, you know, he had to fake it a little bit in order to be able to get further in the industry. But when the industry started changing to where independence and being yourself and being all these things is now cool to do, like now to be yourself, now him trying to be himself comes off as fake because that's not who he started as.
That's crazy.
And he's like trapped in his own prison right now, and he's not happy. He's working, but he's not happy. And I just said that to say that you have to do what's true to you and what makes you happy, because that same nerd geek that you see in Miles Morales is also the star and why we love him so much. The same thing that people will tear you down for is the same thing that they will love you for later when they understand the connection. So I'm with you 100%.
I love that Miles is just a good kid, fam. Like, he's not like they didn't portray him as, oh, we got to make him more street. Like, oh, he didn't have to fling rocks, or he didn't have to like move bougie, or he just was himself. And I just love that. He was just a good kid who grew up where we all grew up, and he just represented us all. And I loved it. All right, cool. So we need to have a conversation right now. Yeah, we need to have a conversation. I know Kratos is your favorite character. He's your guy. Now, I'm going to be 100 and keep it a buck with you. I didn't love God of War until the new game came out. Now, when like the old games, I felt like they were okay, but they were just a bit like hack and slashy for me. I'm not really that hack and slashy guy, and I felt like it was a bit corny when he was beating a gal on the bed and stuff like that. I just felt like he was just doing a bit too much. And then when they recreated it for PlayStation 4 and they relicensed it and didn't relicense it, but they remade it and he had his beard and his fam, that is the best PlayStation 4 game ever made. Like, it's seamless, like the story, the action, the fight scenes, the way like it never loads. And I appreciate, because The Last of Us is like one of my favorite games, and I love the influences from The Last of Us in this game, and that game is incredible. So as busy as I am and as much games as I've got in my backlog, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to go back and play God of War on my PlayStation 5, because you see that experience, madness.
Yes. Now this is very interesting in terms of you not liking the God of War games before, but loving the new God of War. Now, here's what I would say. The new God of War, I love more than the other God of Wars myself. But I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why I love God of War overall, from the beginning all the way to now. One, the story in God of War really related to me, and I believe after I say this, it may relate to you too. But he gave his soul to Ares, so Ares, the God of War, could wipe out his enemies. But in the process of doing that, Ares made him kill his wife and daughter. Yeah, and he had to wear their ashes as skin.
Madness.
So think about it: your wife and daughter becomes your actual skin. And
your melanin.
Yes, and you hate the skin that you in. And stuff like that, and you're and the world is condemning you for what you did and all this other stuff. And there's a correlation with that, just as being a black man. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like just your skin is supposed to be this poisonous thing, and in terms of the way the world tried to make it. And then a lot of times that same skin, you can see somebody in the same skin as you and they still try to destroy you too. So it was a real correlation when I seen that story, because it was so powerful. And the second thing is, when I was younger, they used to call me Jackal because I'm a rap artist as well. So they used to call me Jackal like way before, the hip hop gamer movement, when I got into the industry side of it. But they used to call me Jackal. And that rage that you see with Kratos really directly related to my personality when I was younger. Because one, my upbringing was very difficult. Yeah. And if it wasn't for my grandma, you would not know who I am today. My grandmother definitely was my angel on earth. And I thank God for her so much. And without her, I know the path I would have been on, but I still had that edginess. And Kratos, that's why I related to Kratos so much. And especially after the PS4 game, it changed. It's the best game ever to me. Yeah. That's the game of the generation, in my opinion.
And don't get me wrong, like, I appreciated what the old God of Wars are. Like, the combat was seamless and the fights were huge. Because even the PS4 version couldn't recreate how epic the big fights were in the older ones. Because those fights were like, you'd be climbing up, man, and jumping up, man, and all of them kind of thing. But I don't know why it never grabbed me like how an Uncharted did. Like, an Uncharted just made me get lost in it. All right, cool. So we're both hyped. We're both very energetic. But one thing that's really important for me, and like I found it out more about you while researching about you, not even knowing, because obviously I've just seen you from the outside. You're very similar to me, where like you've been in the game for a while and you're here to make your voice be heard, and you're hype and you're big. But that's not a facade, but that's just your personality. But your real job is how you're here to change the industry. So let's talk about gaming and guidance, because you're actually making real change here. You're not just like, people might just see you with your chain and your belt and be like, oh, he's just being a loud black guy and blah, blah, blah. But you're actually here making change. So let the people know about the change you're making, my brother.
Okay, so gaming and guidance, man, very important to me. So shout out to my bro Tavon Skinner. He has a non-for-profit called Craft Keepers Inc. And what's so funny is here's how it all happened. So I was talking with my man Ujesh and a couple of other people over at Logitech. And Ujesh, he has two daughters. And when they went online to play games, they was immediately met with racism. It was crazy. So Ujesh was like, look, we could sell mouse and keyboards and headsets all day and make millions. I get it, but we got to do something that's beyond that. Like we got to do something that's really going to impact people in the community, because you can't change everybody. But if we could do something to create some sort of change and better what we see here, I can live with that. So when he said that, I was like, yo, all right, let's do it. So me and my boy Tavon, what's so funny is I had my Legend of Zelda book bag on, and we're in the doctor's office. I got my son, and he was there as well. And that's how we met, because he knew I was a gamer, because ain't nobody gonna walk around with a big gold Legend of Zelda book bag and not be a gamer. So we just started talking, and then we came up with the idea of gaming and guidance. So when I realized the change that was happening here, it changed my life even more. So one, I want to thank Logitech for helping me, investing in me, and believing in the vision. That's one. Two, what gaming and guidance is 4 layers to it, but I'll break it down briefly. So the first layer is the actual assemblies that we do. They're 90-minute assemblies where we have esport battles. We have an esport battle with the kids, and then we have a panel discussion. But our panel discussion is pretty much the kids asking us stuff, giving them the opportunity to have a voice. Because a lot of times they just get told, shut up, stay in your place. You know what I mean? And don't speak. But you need them to speak so you can know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So we give them the opportunity to speak to us, and then we can provide the guidance. But the cool thing about the gaming is that it breaks the ice and it brings them together. And one thing that I've learned in my experience is kids that never even would speak to each other in schools or in class, we wind up having them play against each other. And it created a conversation, and you got your peers cheering you on because they all love gaming, and literally like broke a barrier so more people could feel closer in their own school and look at each other more as brothers and sisters, as opposed to this clique and this clique. Yeah. Listen, game changer. That was one. Another thing is that we do is called checkpoint. And checkpoint is when we actually go to people's houses. So I went to a friend of mine's house who have a son, and he doesn't have a right hand. He's disabled. So we got him the Xbox adaptive controller. And this was on the Channel 12 News as well in the Bronx. And that's the first time he smiled in over 2 years, from what his father had told me. So, and he said, this isn't just amazing, but it's amazing for people like him as well. And he started crying. So these are the things like that we do with gaming and guidance, and just one person at a time, we try to do whatever we can to use gaming as a way to break barriers and create conversation, and provide the guidance to educate and create better character. And that all comes down to the quote that I created called "Character is your currency." And
I love it.
People, when they hear that and they think about it, they like, wow, because who you are is the actual value. Who you are is the real value in all of this. So what we always try to teach and try to instill in a lot of the kids and just people in general is that you can have a chain, iced out cars, girls, whatever. That's all just a byproduct of what you're actually trying to become within your life. So it's not about what's done to you. It's actually about how you respond to these things that's going to build your character up. You understand what I'm saying?
100%. So, that's so sick. So sick. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I could talk to you all day, but we're only a short form podcast. Where can the people find you at, man?
Yo, what's so funny, man? Google me, Hip Hop Gamer. I'm everywhere, and that's the name, Hip Hop Gamer, on everything. So Google me, Hip Hop Gamer, and I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. Everything is all love. And yo, Mr. Midas, man, I just want to tell you, man, before we get out of here, thank you too, man, because like I looked at a lot of your stuff as well, and from you presenting and your energy. I remember I was watching this one video that you did, and somebody had like, I think, a 10 for you hat on, and you just interrupted everything like, yo, fam, your hat is dope. Like, and I do those same things because it's like I'm just in the moment. I love this and I cherish it, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I appreciate you too as well, man. Much love to you, your family, and every move that you're making, man. Stay positive, and I'm always here as a resource to help out with anything you got going on. I love you, bro, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man. That was so heartwarming. So there you see it. Man's got Hot 97s.
Yeah.
The hip hop gamer, on Too Many Games, my little podcast. We are going international. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you Google him. Google me at the same time. You can go listen to my old music as well, because man does this. We out. Peace.
Peace.